Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope everything's good in the hood. Hope everything's good at your end. So let's get into it. Let's do another live today. I thought we had a good one yesterday, and I'm going to try getting consistent with these live streams. Trying to get as many live streams as I can get done during the week now that I'm a little bit free. I think these live streams are good, interacting with you guys and talking with you. I think it's great. I enjoy it, and that's why we're doing another live stream because I want to get interacting with a lot of you guys. I want to get new faces on camera. I want to get some of you on camera that haven't been on camera. What's good? What's good? What's good, Stephen? I hope you're well. I hope everything's good. But yeah, I want to get new face. I want to get everyone, as many people on camera as I can. I think it'd be great to get as many of you on there. I really enjoy doing these live streams. Really enjoy it. So as many of you that can come on, the better. And it'll be great. It'll be great having you more of you on. Let's get some. Let's get. I'll put the link in the bio. One sec. I'll put the link in the bio. Give me like 5-10 minutes, and then I'll put the link in the bio. We'll get this party started. All right. Okay. So, what do you guys make of the Danny Garcia comments? Danny Garcia says that that he believes that one of Pacquiao or Spence is going to get knocked out in this fight. What do you guys make of it? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think one of Manny Pacquiao or Spence is going to get knocked out? How do you feel? How do you see this fight playing out? Or do you think this is more a decision? What do you think? What do you think? Let me get this link in the and get you guys in. Okay, let's get the link in the bio. Let's get the link in there. So now the link's in. Garcia is a garbage trainer. Garcia is a garbage trainer. No, Danny Garcia, the fighter, not the trainer. Not the trainer, the fighter. What do you make of his comments? I think Danny Garcia is just sour and bitter. Fair enough. I don't know whether he's. I actually think he genuinely means it, that one of them is going to get knocked out and the fight's not going to go the distance. I think he genuinely believes that, to be honest. I think he genuinely believes one of them is going to get hatred. Says Marlena 76. Hatred. Who's hatred? Who's hatred? Are we talking about Garcia? Are we talking about who are we talking about? But yeah, I just want to see a great fight. I think it's going to hopefully be a cracking fight. I think it's going to be exciting, man. I think it's going to be really exciting to watch. I think we're in for a good fight, and that's what we all want to see. Rajko Fitness says, can't wait for this fight. I think we all are looking forward to it. We all can't wait. Rohit, Gabriel's in the house. Manny is going to win. Mark my words. Trust him or not, Manny is going to beat Spence. Just wait and watch. Some really confident fans. Penny Magic, I really hope so. I think it would be Spence going down 5th or 7th round. Honestly, wow. Some serious shots being fired here. Penny Magic believes that Spence will be knocked out in 5 or 7 rounds. Wow. It's a savage prediction that. PBC is gaining more and more momentum. Hi, Richard. I hope you're well. Pac-Man on points. So Richard's been saying Pac-Man on points. Burning Desire says, I want Pacquiao to win. A lot of people want Pacquiao to win this fight. A lot of people want Pacquiao to pull off the upset, which would be an upset. Let's be honest. It would be an upset. It would be a fight where a lot of people won't be giving Pacquiao a chance, but I feel like he can pull it off, but it's going to be tough. Mark down 123. I think the jab will be too much. Spence, you're talking about Spence's jab. This is going to be a key weapon. Spence's jab is going to be a key weapon. Subhan Beg, I want Spence to knock him out so he can retire. Wow. Wow. Subhan Beg's going in. He says, I want Spence to knock him out so he can retire. Why is that? Why is that, Subhan? Why do you want him to knock him out? Marlinus 76. Spence is going to jab Manny, eye closed shut. That jab is going to be key. If Manny is going to have to be able to try to, you know, get past that jab. Spence's jab is really good, man. Really good. So Rajko Fitness, I think it won't go the distance because Spence will fight toe to toe, I think. Wow. He'll fight toe to toe. So who do you think is going to come out on top if it goes toe to toe? Burning Desire says Spence would move up and probably take more losses if he gets beat. Do you think he's going to get beat though? Steven says more than likely Pac-Man is not going to be able to pull it off. Yeah. So do you think he's going to get stopped? Time for passing of the torch for the new boxers to shine. Fair enough. Good explanation. You want a new star to be born. You don't want the old star to continue carrying the torch. You want the torch to be passed on to the younger, fresher man in Errol Spence. Errol the Truth Spence. And you want to see somebody else become the superstar and lead the sport, which is fair enough. There's a lot of people with that kind of mindset. It would be good for boxing if Spence was to win, because obviously Spence is a younger man. If Pacquiao wins, it's kind of like a potential superstar being, you know, blown away. So yeah, it does make it's better for boxing. But I don't think a lot of people see it like that. A lot of people want to see Pacquiao win because they have that love and affection towards Manny, which a lot of people have towards Manny because he's seen as one of the greatest. Spence is better on the inside. Yeah, he is. Spence on the inside is brutal with those body shots. He's strong as well. He's going to be a lot stronger than Manny. So Manny's going to have to kind of find a range where he can get to Spence, but not be on the inside at the same time where Spence can get off his body work, if you see what I mean. I think a fight that's fought up close. Manny doesn't really fight up close, though. Manny doesn't really fight on the inside. If you look at it, Manny doesn't want that fight to be. He doesn't want to be on Spence's chest. He don't fight like that. You know, Manny likes to keep it at a distance and use his hand speed. But he's going to have to find the range because obviously Spence is a taller, longer man. So he could use his jab to negate Manny Pacquiao. So he's going to have to look to get past that jab. Burning Desire. If Spence wins, I'd like to see him fight GGG at 160 or Canelo. Wow, that's a big jump up though, eh? That's a massive jump up from, jumping up from, that'd be jumping up from, 147 to 160. That's a big jump up. Hi, Stephen. I thought you was a good guest the other day. Enjoyed listening to you talk boxing. Yeah, he is. Stephen knows his stuff. Stephen knows his stuff. I loved Manny to win. I agree that he's going to fight toe-to-toe. And if he fights toe-to-toe with Pac-Man, I think he has the clear edge, yeah. And he's a bigger guy as well. So I don't think Pacquiao's going to fight toe-to-toe. I think Pacquiao's going to like to keep it at a distance, use his hand speed. Manny going to be taking too much fire. He's going to be taking a lot of shots, according to Marlinus 76. Possibly. Bud should have took the 60-40 when he had the chance. He'll be lucky if he gets 90-10 after this massive pay-per-view. Wow. I don't think the fight's going to happen. That's why I said, I made a video about this. I don't think the fight is going to happen. I don't think the fight is going to happen at all. Because I just don't think I don't think Crawford is going to agree to the split. He's just not going to. Let's be honest. He's not going to agree to the split, and we're not going to get the fight, which is it's going to be a shame. Burning Desire. Spence has been in close fights with Brook and Porter. He can be beat. Yeah, he can be, but he's a guy that finds his way through. Pacquiao for me is better than Brook and Porter. So for me, this is should be a tougher fight. Did you see Anderson Silva v Chavez Jr. Imran? Yes, I watched highlights of it. It was like I said, it was a terrible fight. Like guys, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Chavez, man. Chavez gets called a joke. Chavez gets trolled all the time. It's funny because Chavez stopped Andy Lee all those years ago, and Andy Lee is so well respected, and Chavez stopped him, and yeah, Chavez is seen as some kind of joke. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Chavez. I understand he's not disciplined and stuff, but Chavez could fight. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. could fight. It's just that he didn't take his career that seriously, but the man could fight. The man wasn't no bum. He could fight, right? It's just that it was the stuff that he did outside the ring that didn't help him. But no one can tell me that Chavez was a bum. He wasn't. He wasn't at all. He could really fight. And I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the kind of stick he gets. But he does bring it onto himself. But let's not forget, he's got some good wins on his resume. He's got some good wins on his resume, man. Chavez at one point was a good fighter. I don't think he's what people say, criticize him and hate on him. And, just because he had a great father, that doesn't mean his son has to be as good as his father, right? Look at Billy Joe, for example, went the distance with Andy Lee, and Chavez stopped Andy Lee more when Andy Lee was more in his prime as well. So let's give Chavez. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan, but at the end of the day, he's not as bad as what people make him out to be. And in terms of the fight against Anderson Silva, Chavez is finished now. Like Chavez is just like he's just fighting for money. He's not fighting to win, or he doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of that. So to be honest with you, I think Chavez gets a very rough deal from everybody. So Sean T is in the house. Sean T, timing is key in this fight. Timing is key. Is Spence gonna? I don't know. It's just a great fight, man. It's a great matchup. Hi, Ahmed. I hope you're well. Richard Brown says, Stephen, yeah, I thought Chavez would win that, to be honest. Poor performance. Yeah, it was. It's lack of dedication from Chavez. Chavez isn't a really. Let's hope Pacquiao uses his footwork well and lets his hands go. Yeah, he's gonna have to. But people say with Spence, when he lets his hands go, people become hesitant because he punches hard. But let's see. Rohit says, Manny's like Goku in dubs. No matter what age Manny is gonna win in the end, just like Goku. Fair enough. Steven says, appreciate it. You're welcome. Spence has been draining himself since he went pro. But that's where the money is at welter. There's no money at 154. Yeah, the money is at welter. The big fights are at welter. He has got a fight, but he's not going to fight him. Jamel Charlo, but they're friends, so they're not going to fight each other. And I think they're not going to fight each other. So I don't really think Jamel and Spence are going to fight each other. That would be a big fight at 154 for him. But is he really going to fight? Is he really going to fight? Jamel? No. Jamel and Spence are good friends, so that's not going to happen. So Burning Desire says, do you think Bob Arum will make some good British fights now that he's got the Sky deal, like the Brook and Khan fight? I don't think Bob Arum will make that fight. He hasn't got the Sky deal, by the way. Sky will work with individual promoters to make fights. So if that fight, Khan and Brook, was to happen on Sky, Khan and Brook, or maybe Khan might approach Sky himself and then try to make that fight on Sky pay-per-view. I wish Chavez fought Froch a few years ago. Yeah, that was At that time, Chavez was seen as a credible guy. Now Chavez is seen as just like a laughing. People laugh at him, but I don't. Like I said, a couple of years ago, or about 7-8 years ago, Chavez was a good fighter. I'm going to watch the replay of Charlo v Montiel. Great, entertaining fight. Yeah, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. It should have. I expected a little more from Charlo, though, man. You know, Charlo. Charlo's a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I just expected that more. I expected him to clean Montiel out, send a statement. Carl Froch beat Chavez. Who would have won in 2017? I think Froch would have beaten him. To be honest, he's horrible, Imran. What I think you're talking about Chavez. How's it going, Steven? Steven's in the house.
What up, man? What's going on?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Go on. Yeah, yeah.
I know you want to kind of get some some other people to come on and talk.
No, no.
You know,
I don't mind you coming on. I don't mind you coming on. I'd love you coming on all the time. It's great having you on, man. I want other people. I want others to come on as well alongside you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Um, Now, okay, can we cover Chavez Jr. real quick?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of course, of course.
All right, my man Richard Brown.
Yeah,
By the way, I like Richard Brown, man. He's always,
yeah, yeah,
kind of challenging, and I like the way Richard Brown thinks.
yeah,
But yeah, man, I feel like Chavez Jr. had no business losing to Anderson Silva. I know Anderson Silva. I know he's boxed before. That's how he started his career. But
mm,
Chavez Jr. to me has always been a disappointment, man. He's always been
yeah,
just a rich disappointment. And the sad thing is about him is that he got talent.
yeah,
Chavez
yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
he got talent, man. That dude's solid.
Mm. He was a big, strong guy, man. He was a big, strong. Did you see his fight against Martinez?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
He he gave Martinez. He gave Martinez the hell in that fight.
Yeah, man, he's
I,
strong, dude.
yeah, I agree with you, man. Like he didn't really fulfill. Like the thing is like there's some people, right, that they're living on their father's name, but they have no
Mhm.
talent, and you can clearly see that he's just not good enough.
Yeah,
You can just see that he's living on his father's name. He's not good enough at all, right? And
right.
he's basically getting the opportunity because of his father. The thing is with this guy actually had a talent. He could have created his own name in
Yeah,
boxing. It
yeah,
wasn't like it had nothing to do with his father. He could have created his own legacy, but the thing is, he just let himself down, man. Black of not making weight. How many times does he miss weight? Like it must be a record. He missed weight like every fight.
yeah. I mean, he just bad, just a bad, unhealthy lifestyle. Um, but I mean, I've always liked him. He's big, he's strong. He's real athletic. You know what I'm saying? Plays basketball well. I mean, I know they ain't got nothing to do with him fighting, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just all the physical traits he inherited from his father are there. You
Hmm.
know, but yeah, man, I don't want to spend too much time talking about him, man. I don't know, man, it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah, he is, man. He should have achieved a lot more than what he did.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he basically, I feel like he let himself down, man. It's sad because like his father, who's a legend, obviously, right?
hmm,
His father must be like feel like the people are saying he's almost humiliating his father's name. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I don't know, I
You
had
know?
a call, but yeah, man. So Danny Garcia
Yeah,
is
yeah,
talking that shit, and I think
yeah,
Danny Garcia he just sour, man. He just sour. He's upset. It's
mm,
understandable,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you know, there's no way Manny Pacquiao is knocking Spence out. This is not
yeah.
gonna
I
it's
don't
not gonna
think so.
happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. No.
You know, Errol Spence Jr. His defense is just impeccable.
Mm.
Man,
Good
you can say
chin.
what you want to about Errol Spence Jr., but rest assured, he's very technically sound.
Hmm.
Extreme.
Hmm. And he's got a good chin as well.
Man, got a solid chin, man. That dude
Yeah,
got a solid ass chin, man.
yeah, he's got a really strong chin, man. Like I've seen him take some shots. A Brook, a Porter, he took some big shots. Like Garcia caught him a couple of times. Garcia didn't really catch him though, did he? He basically neutralized Garcia. That was a
Yeah.
one-sided fight.
1 second, I got a call coming in. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
No worries, man. No worries. But yeah. So what's Sean T saying? Sean T saying, I think the pressure from Spence is going to be total too much for Manny. Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. There's a good chance that the pressure from Spence might be too much. So yeah, Brook did the same, got to make a living. Yeah, Brook did the same. What, got to make a living? What do you mean? I don't get. Who's Khan? Who's Brook? Never heard of him. Stop it, Glanza. Stop it. When Pacquiao Spence first press conference and face off? I don't know. I don't know actually. When is it? One sec. Let's have a look. When is that first press conference? Okay, one sec. I'm just gonna post the link in the bio. If anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. Okay, so we've got John loves some Ben Shalom from Boxer. Yeah, he's also going to be a promoter on Sky, but it's not an exclusive. Like, it's not exclusive. Other promoters can work with Sky as well with the right fight. So I don't think it's an exclusive deal. I don't think. I might be wrong, but I don't think it is. Spence gas out later rounds quickly. Manny has more speed, footwork, IQ, stamina, power than Spence, though Manny is old, but he still has more stamina. Wow. Rohit's going in. Rohit's going in. So let's say Ben Shlom from, yeah, we've already spoke about him. Pac-Man knows his body really well. He knows his stamina would be the key because of his age. He knows that he's got to be the better than what he was. V. Thurman, he would shock the world. Let's see. Montiel was awkward, says Marlena76. He was awkward. He was horrible for Spence. I don't think Montiel was horrible for Charlo. I don't think Charlo expected the fight to be as tough as it turned out to be. So Pro Larray says Thurman has better conditioning than Spence and puts more pressure on Pac. Similar conditioning is more than enough. Danny didn't need any conditioning to go the distance. Fair enough. Fair enough. So what do you make of this comment here, Stephen? Thurman has better conditioning than Spence and puts more pressure on Pac. Similar conditioning is more than enough. Danny didn't need any conditioning to go the distance.
Okay. I disagree with that comment. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully disagree. I don't think Thurman has better conditioning than Errol Spence. He doesn't.
And he's not a better pressure fighter either.
No, he's not. He's more of a skill boxer type of guy.
Puncher boxer, that can. He's explosive, ain't he, Thurman? Like he's got explosive power, but he's not really a pressure fighter.
No, he's not really a pressure fighter at all, man.
No.
He's one of the most skilled fighters in the game. Your skilled fighters are gonna be guys like Bud Crawford. He's very skilled, naturally skilled. Keith Thurman is very skilled. I would say at this point, Canelo skilled. He's real skilled. Billy Joe Saunders, he's skilled. Back in the day, of course, Floyd, he's skilled. Those are skilled fighters. Errol Spence is more of a boxer. He's more of a Terminator boxer.
He's coming to get you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seek and destroy.
Seek and destroy. Got it. Like you said, granite ass chin. You can hear
Mm,
him. Hear him. He's continually coming. One thing I like about him, he doesn't get rattled. He doesn't
yeah,
get rattled. You know,
he's calm.
he's gonna fight the fight you want to fight.
Mm,
He's gonna fight the fight you want to fight. So you want to bang it out with him, he gonna bang it out with you.
mm,
If you want to box and you want to box and just he gonna box you box your lights out like they
mm,
did Mikey Garcia.
mm,
You know that fight with Mikey Garcia, it pissed me off because everybody said that Spence wasn't skilled. He wasn't a boxer. Mikey Garcia was just gonna box circles around him,
mm,
and Spence made it a point to go and flip the tables on him and outbox him. That's
mm.
beautiful.
Do you think Spence could beat Charlo? Ask Ahmed.
Mm,
Jamel Charlo.
Jamel or
Yeah.
Jamal?
Jamel. Because he's at 154, so it's more realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not a. Well, you know they spar with each other all the time, and so they
Mm,
know each other.
mm.
Um, but I don't know. I don't think he can beat
Jamel.
Jamel. What do you think?
Uh, yeah, I think that'd be a hard fight, Jamel. But I don't know. Spence is kind of special as well. I don't know. That's a good fight. I would love to see that, but they're not gonna happen because they're friends.
Yeah, it
That's
ain't
not
gonna
gonna
happen. Yeah.
happen. That ain't gonna happen. So, what do you make of Spence going and fighting like moving up to 160? Because there's not really any big fights at 154, is there?
There's some fights at 154.
Like
You
big
got
ones, like big money ones. Are like he's gonna want big after fighting. If he fights Pacquiao, Crawford, we're talking. This guy's gonna be making big money, right? But yeah,
big
so
money.
who's at 154 that's gonna really make him a huge fight?
Well, the fight with Charlo, that would be a big fight, but you know they
Yeah,
at the same
yeah, that wouldn't
stable.
happen.
It was in the, it's not gonna happen. I would like to see him. There's no big money fights at 154.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you think he'd have to
So
move to 160?
he probably had to move to 160 or he just stay at one. He should, in my opinion, I think he should stay at 147 for a minute. Just
Yeah,
clear it
yeah,
out. You got Boots Ennis coming on up. You
yeah, yeah,
got James Martin, Blatter Fleur Cobb.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you know, you got you got there's enough money circulating in the welterweight division where he can eat good and just build his name. Build his
Yeah.
name.
Let me ask you about Spence fighting Canelo. People have talked about this, right? They have talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
I've put a stop. I think it's ridiculous because I think Canelo would beat him badly. He's too big, too strong. I know my man Sean T has felt like Spence could fight Canelo. What do you make of it? Do you think that's just crazy or?
Nah, it ain't crazy, man. And Imran, man, I disagree with you, man.
What you think? Canelo, you think Spence could beat Canelo?
If Spence gets if you allow him time to kind of get his feet, well, I'm not saying go to 168 or wherever Canelo is and just
Yeah,
fight him rip. Of
yeah,
course, let him get acclimated.
yeah, yeah.
It's doable because Spence is big. He's naturally big. He's taller than Canelo.
Canelo, yeah.
And that motherfucker's strong. Earl Spence
Mm.
is strong. I know Canelo is strong, and he's kind of like a stocky, flea.
Okay, well, something's Sean. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
kind of like a short, stocky, twitchy, fast type of guy. Spence is naturally big. He's naturally big. Walking around, I done seen Spence where he looked like he every bit of 205. Just just walking around. That motherfucker strong, man.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, he is big. But I don't know. I don't know. It's just that weight, the weight different. I don't know. It's just a horrible kind of. It's a horrible. It's like if he goes there, I feel like Canelo, although Spence could fire that weight, he's a big welterweight. But a big welterweight, I don't believe means a big middleweight or a big super middleweight. I think the weight, see, Canelo to me now is like a massive, like even though he's not a fully fledged 168, he's not Benavidez. Benavidez is a monster, right? But he's bashing up big super middleweights. Do you know what I mean? Like he's beating big, strong. Like you imagine like Errol Spence against Callum Smith, for example. Callum Smith is like 6'4". He's 6'4", and Canelo dealt with that guy. And Callum Smith beat George Groves, who's a good fighter. I don't know if you are familiar with George Groves.
Yeah.
He beat him, and like I don't know, man. It's just the size difference between these guys, and Canelo dealt with like that's why a lot of people question Canelo's legitimacy, because they're thinking this guy just walked through a 6'4" big guy and just walked through him. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's just Spence. I mean, Canelo just looks so strong right now, man. He just broke Billy Joe's face. You know what I mean?
He broke his face. He broke his face. Yeah, he broke his face. And I see some of your people, they're saying, Canelo would smash Spence's chin in and all this stuff. It's like when you talk, you say anything about Canelo, and I get it, because Canelo a bad motherfucker. Canelo's he's bad, but man, Canelo's going up and down from weight class to weight class. He's picking his fights, man. Canelo's he's the new Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
they're the same people. They may as well be the same people. They do the same shit. They do the same stuff. They pick their fights carefully.
So who do you want to see fight then? Who do you want to see Canelo fight?
I want to see him fight Benavidez. I want to see him fight Jamal Charlo. I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight Caleb Plant.
He's gonna fight him next. I think he's gonna fight him next.
We'll see.
Yeah. But let me ask you this though, Stephen. Like, do you think, obviously you're from America, so you can answer, you're from America, right?
I'm from America, man.
Yeah. So you'll be able to answer this question, man. You'll be able to answer this question. Do you think, see, I know, and obviously the reason why I'm asking you, because obviously you respect a lot of UK fighters. Do you think a lot of the American fans, right, when they talk about a UK fighter, they treat them like they're some kind of bum and don't give them the respect? So like Canelo beat Callum Smith and what's his name, Billy Joe, and it was almost like, oh, he beat another Euro bum. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some of the American fans are very dismissive of the UK fighters, and they want him to fight, like you said, you want him to fight Jamal Charlo, Andre Benavidez, Plant, and stuff like that. They're obviously American, or they're based in America. So do you think it's a case where some of the American fans are dismissive of who Canelo's fighting because they're not aware of them and they've not really seen them fight as much? Do you think there's
I would say so. I would say that's definitely the issue. I think by and large, American fans don't keep up with the sport from a global standpoint. Some of those European fighters, they just tend to dismiss them. Well, the reason why I brought up those names like the Andrades and Caleb Plants and all that, they just happen to be the top guys right now as a stance. Right now, stance. But no, I think there is kind of like a disconnect from with the British or UK fighters, the Limeys, and us. There is, it just takes like the other day, I didn't know about Flair Cobb until one of your viewers told me about him. So what did I do? I don't, I love boxing, so I went at a couple of his fights.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is with like certain fighters, like someone, Richard, for example, told me about Rashidi Ellis. And he keeps going on about Rashidi Ellis, that Rashidi Ellis is really good. He's just that. It's just that he's quite unknown right now, but apparently he's really, really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you learn things. But there's some fighters that are under the radar that haven't really got the promotion. I believe Rashidi Ellis is with Golden Boy, I think.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big promoter. Do you know what I mean? Golden Boy is a big promoter. So I feel like he should be out there a little bit more.
Yeah, it should be out there a little bit more. Um, and that's why, man, I don't know if you caught this from me.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm the type of person, I don't follow trends. I
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
not follow trends. I despise it. I don't regurgitate some of the talking points that you'll hear from people. I like to give my own assessment. Because if you
Mm,
ain't if you don't get to know these fighters, if you don't know how they operate in the ring and all this type of shit, if you don't get to really know them, how can you comment on what their ability is?
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
a lot of these talking points are just like just run in the mill. Like everybody's talking about Boots Ennis. I know Boots Ennis. I like him, but I also like you said, Blood or Fleur Cobb
Yeah.
and Rasheed Willis.
Mm,
I'm not gonna discredit their abilities and everything. I like to get to know a fighter. I'm not gonna regurgitate some of the same mundane, worn down talking points.
mm, mm, mm. What about I want to ask you obviously about the Wilder Fury situation now. Wilder and Fury. That's obviously coming soon, July 24th.
Hmm.
Big fight. It's
Hmm.
a big fight. Can Wilder, obviously, I'm pretty sure you're rooting for your American guy, right? Can
Yeah,
Wilder, I don't know whether um I don't know whether you have that connect with Wilder, whether you like Wilder. Some people don't like Wilder. Even in America, I spoke to them. They don't have that connect. I don't know whether you root for Wilder, how you've seen his career, and how badly you want him to resurrect the loss against Tyson Fury. And by the way, let me get this before that. You know what? I was somebody that really wanted to see Wilder v Joshua because I
mm,
actually think that's a to be honest with you, I think I think Fury would beat Joshua. I just think Joshua. I think Joshua's too textbook, and I think Fury's too fast. He's too elusive. I actually think, and I still believe this, and people may think I'm crazy. I actually think Wilder's the only guy that potentially could beat Fury because I tell you why. Wilder's a massive puncher. If he hits you, you're gone. You're asleep, right?
yeah.
But Wilder's unorthodox. Do you see what I mean? He's not conventional. He's not textbook, right? Whereas other fighters like a Joshua's textbook. He does things
Hmm.
by the book. And I just think Fury, for me, I don't think anyone beats Fury, by the way. I think Fury's the best heavyweight in the world, right? And I've always thought that. I think the only guy that has a chance is Wilder because Wilder's unique. He has that punching power and he's dangerous. And I've always felt that. And by the way, I think Wilder, I've always been of the standpoint, even though I'm from Britain, I've always felt this is just style thing for me. I think Wilder knocks out Anthony Joshua. I think Joshua's too upright, and I think Wilder's right hand will land, and I just don't think Joshua would be able to take it. Whereas I think Wilder's very tough. I think Wilder's got a massive heart. I think Wilder's showed in that Fury fight he can take a beating. What's your take?
Almost exactly what you said. I could,
Yeah.
I'm 100% on par with you. Uh, First things first. Let's get it. Let's get this understood that Fury is the best heavyweight in the world right now.
Yeah, he is.
So,
Yeah.
and I think the separation from heavyweight to heavyweight
Mm.
is extending a lot because Fury's just that much better than everybody else.
I
He's
agree
least
with you 100%.
uh
100%.
Deontay Wilder, like I said, breaks my heart because I really, really love his passion.
Mm.
But that doesn't negate the fact that he's wild.
Mm.
He's wild. He's clumsy to a certain extent,
Mm.
and you can't survive off a one trick pony. You can't a gimmick. The punch is knockout punch is just a gimmick.
Mm.
There's a lot of other tools that he's missed. Unfortunately, he doesn't
Mm.
have them.
Mm.
It was a bad decision to take this fight. He took this fight
Really?
out of emotion. and out of emotion, and I think he kind of jumped the gun, and um, he didn't think about it fully
Mm,
because his career is contingent upon this win,
yeah,
this
yeah.
next
If he
fight.
loses,
If
where
he
does he go?
loses, he's gonna be he's like good thing is he's made more money,
Yeah.
made enough money to sustain him for the rest of his life.
Hmm.
Uh, but I disagree with you with Anthony Joshua. Why doesn't anybody give Anthony Joshua credit for being skilled? He's
No,
skilled.
Joshua's skilled. No, Joshua's really skilled. He's more skilled than Wilder. It's not even close. I just think, I just think styles make fights for me, and I just think Wilder's style, I just think it's all wrong. I just think that straight right hand and what do you think? Do you think Joshua beats Wilder then?
No, I think he beats Wilder. Wilder.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he
Yeah.
might he might he might have an easier time beating Wilder than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's not all that powerful. He just
No,
a
no, no.
skill. Anthony
Yeah.
Joshua powerful.
But I don't think the problem is with Joshua. I think he doesn't have the elusiveness of Fury. Do you see where I'm coming from? So like
Mhm.
he doesn't have the movement of Fury. So with Wilder's got a static target. He's got a target where he hasn't got a moving target. Do you know what I mean? And for me, Wilder would thrive off that. He'd thrive off a guy that's not a moving target. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone like Fury, he's a moving target, so it's harder for Wilder to set and land that shot. Whereas
Mhm.
with Joshua's more straight up. He's not somebody that moves and gives you, Fury's got great head movement. Joshua doesn't have great head movement, man. And I just think I don't. And by the way, Wilder lands, no one's taking it. Let's be honest, no one's taking that power.
You're going night. You're going night night.
Yeah, and we already seen Joshua get knocked out. We've already seen Joshua been hurt many times, right? He ain't taking Wilder's power. So I just feel like Wilder's all wrong for him. That's not to say that Wilder's a better fighter. See, styles make fights, like you mentioned. Certain styles just align, right? I'm not saying Wilder's a better fighter than Joshua, but I think there's a great chance that Wilder sparks him. Just when I look at him stylistically, because remember, Wilder's taller than Joshua as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll
Yeah.
probably have a longer reach. Wilder's got some long levers as well. He's got some long arms.
Yeah.
Last belt.
I,
Yeah, go on,
I can
Stephen.
see what you're saying. I can agree to that. I would agree to that. The thing is about Wilder right now is I think he's damaged as a person as a
Right,
fighter.
right.
I think he's you want to talk about being unsure of himself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, he's trying to prove to himself that he's still worthy of it. But I really don't think he feels that way deep inside. I think in a fight with Anthony Joshua, uh, I think Anthony Joshua he's been there. He's
Hmm.
been there, and he's had a loss like that, a devastating loss. But he redeemed himself, and he was able to overcome and go back and redeem his win. I
Hmm.
think um, I don't see this is the third fight that they're going to be fighting. Let's
Hmm.
just go ahead and close the book on Deontay Wilder. I think his career is over.
Oh, that's a big. Yeah, to be honest, you're maybe right. You know why I think? You know why? Deontay Wilder. I think the crazy thing is, right? I think Deontay Wilder could clean out a lot of the heavyweights. I just think I just think, unfortunately, he's ran into somebody that's better than him in Tyson Fury, and stylistically, he's a nightmare for Wilder. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, I think Wilder might be the only guy that has, like, honestly, I think Fury beats Joshua quite comfortably. To be honest, I know Joshua's more skilled. I just think Fury. You know what? Here's the thing with Wilder. I think Wilder and Fury are a bit, they're a bit strange. Like
Mhm.
Joshua for me has more confidence issues. I tell you, I seen it in that Pulev fight where he was a bit unsure of himself. And you mentioned this the other day that you don't feel like Joshua's bringing out the best of himself. Like he doesn't he feels like he's unsure of himself,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't personally. I think against someone like Tyson Fury, you can't be going in doubting yourself or mentally not like feeling unsure about yourself. The thing is with Wilder, I feel like Wilder, from a confidence point of view, he's a very confident individual. Sometimes some people say he's like he's even bordering on delusional. Do you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
believes that Fury cheated. Like he's not talking rubbish. He believes that. Whether we believe that, he believes that. When he's saying something, he believes it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He believes that Fury cheated. He believes that Fury had something in his gloves. He believes his water was spiked. He's not. You can tell when he's saying it that he's not just saying it. He believes that, right? Also, when he says that he's gonna go in there and knock Fury and do serious damage to him in this fight, he believes that. I don't believe he's saying it. He genuinely believes what he's saying, right?
And that's the wrong thing, and that's the wrong thing to think, and Rand, that's the wrong psychology to go into a redemption fight. You don't go in the damn fight with the same shit that got you knocked out. You
Mm,
know, with thinking that you're gonna knock him out and talking about he want bodies and all. It's all wrong. He
mm,
trying to get he's trying. He believes everything you said, but I
mm.
don't think he believes he could beat Wilder. I mean,
You don't
Fury.
Fury.
Yeah, I don't think he believes that. I don't think he believes that. That's the wrong type of shit to be saying talking about you gonna go in there, you're gonna knock him out and stuff. Man,
Mm,
you have to learn the fundamentals of boxing. I get it.
mm,
I get that he started boxing late in life and everything,
mm,
but that's a gimmick. You can only float. You can only survive off a gimmick for so long.
mm,
There are people that made sorry, Mr. Law had uh Baby Got Back.
mm,
That was a one hit wonder. He made you don't know anything else from him. He was
mm,
only able to survive off of that for a short period of time.
mm,
That's the wrong type of psychology to go into this fight. Talking about you gonna knock him out. You're not, it can happen.
mm.
Not very likely. I think his
Do you
career is
think?
over.
Do you think Fury knocks him out again quicker or?
Yeah, yeah. I think. Well, not quicker. I don't know about quicker. I know. I see the fight happening as Deontay Wilder's gonna go into it, hoping and dreaming that he's gonna, be the victor. And I think once the fight progresses, uh, maybe the sixth round or something, he's gonna realize that he's just in over his head. He's gonna get
Mm,
frustrated, might do something out of frustration, but I think it's gonna be like a Roberto Duran type of situation with
I,
with you.
I don't think I think Wilder's got heart, man. I don't think Wilder would quit. I don't think he would just say enough's enough. Like I saw that in the last fight against Fury, he was getting battered, and when the fight did get stopped and Tower came in, which was right, by the way, should have come in because he was getting blasted, right?
Mhm.
Um, I actually think went to this corner and started arguing with them, which shows me the man's got immense heart. He's got immense heart and bravery. He wants to fight on even when he knows he's being outgunned. Um, so like I said, I think Wilder's heart can't be questioned. He's got heart. He's a warrior, man. He's a warrior. But yeah, I do see Fury, man. Fury's just too intelligent. He's too clever, and he's very good boxer. Very, very
Mm.
good boxer. I
What do
don't
you
really.
do?
Yeah, go
What do
on.
you do? How do you handle a situation? Because the situation you described, he was taking a beating,
Yeah,
the first fight. I don't
yeah.
think he's gonna take that much of a beating this second fight. I think he's just gonna take a boxing lesson. Listen. So
Oh,
what do you do when you're in there with somebody who is just that much more superior to you as a boxer? You're not really taking the ass whooping. You're not taking the beating,
mm,
but frustrating because you can't figure this guy out, and
mm,
he's making.
mm,
There are fighters that there are type of fights where you see these guys take beatings. That's different from somebody getting humiliated.
yeah. I get you. I get what you're saying. Roberto
So what?
Duran got humiliated.
Yeah, Duran had heart. He had heart, but he
Of
was
course.
just getting
Yeah.
infuriated, and it was
Yeah.
frustrated. So he was like, "Fuck it, I quit." That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I was saying. That's why I was saying. That's what the point I was trying to articulate with Wilder.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah. Yeah.
think he's
Yeah.
going that way.
But do you
Not that
think
he.
Wilder's got that in him, though? Do you think Wilder's got that in him if he's getting frustrated? Or does he, like I said, have that confidence and that arrogance that I've got the power, I just need to land one? Like he says, all I need to do is land, I need to be perfect for 2 seconds. You need to be perfect for 36 minutes. What do you make of him saying that? He says that a lot. What do you make of that?
I think that's again. I think that's the wrong psychology to have. That's the first. That's the same psychology that you had in the first fight, in the second fight, and it didn't render you good results.
Yeah.
He's got to get over that, man. He's got to get over that. That one punch thing is sometimes, and a lot of times, it's an anomaly. It's just
Mm,
something that you don't survive off of that.
mm,
You can't
mm.
you can't expect to beat a first class uh, boxer like Tyson Fury. He's the most elite boxer in the world.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it's your repertoire. Your arsenal needs to be predicated upon a strategy. You got to be strategical in the ring, especially with somebody like him. You can't be talking about you gonna knock him out and stuff.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I think Wilder, you know what, Wilder, I felt like a lot of his fights, when I saw him fight, a lot of them were like he was waiting. He's almost like he goes in there with no game plan, right?
Hmm.
And he's like,
Hmm.
eventually my right hand's gonna land. Eventually I'm gonna land it somewhere. And I felt like his fights played out like that most of the time.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
literally, like he's getting outboxed, he's getting outclassed, and then boom, he lands the right hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
That's that you just described it. That's the way most of his fights go. You
mm,
know, you outbox, and then don't get me wrong, man. I don't want to, because I know a lot of people, they love Deontay Wilder, and I respect his passion too. I respect how
yeah,
he speak up for us, for his people like me.
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
permanent in.
yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, I love that. I love that about him, but it doesn't translate into being a good boxer. And
Mm,
it's just like, I mean, it's sad. It's real sad. So I don't want to piss any of your viewers off, because I know a lot of people like Deontay Wilder. I ain't gonna speak too bad on him. I just think that he's
Fury thing to him, yeah.
outgunned in this fight.
Yeah. Richard Brown's asking, have you heard of Daniel Dubois, George Joyce?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Both of them. Yeah.
What do
Then
you
you
make what do you make of them?
solid fighters,
Mm,
solid fighters. That's again, um, that's what we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about the new age and the new
mm.
dawn of boxing. All these fighters that people don't know. We need to start talking about them, because there's a lot of promise with them. They're both good fighters, man.
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
good. You know,
yeah.
like he was talking about Rashidi Ellis, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Fighter.
Good fighter, man. Rashidi Ellis. Last Bell Boxing says Father Time will present himself during the Spence fight. Spence far too fresh for Pac-Man.
I salute that comment, and I endorse that comment. I think that comment is right on the money. A lot of people, are hung up in their feelings. You know me. You know
Yeah,
me, and you know
yeah,
I'm
of
a
course,
big
yeah.
Pac-Man fan.
Pacquiao fan.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm.
Shit, Pac-Man's that's my heart, man. That's my heart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But this fight and trust me, Pac-Man ain't tripping. He ain't tripping off this fight, man. He knows that. He knows that what the decision is probably going to be.
yeah.
But he's
Mm-hmm.
that much of a gangster. He's that much of a killer. He's that much of a warrior that he's gonna go into it knowing that the outcome might not be what he wanted, but that's the way he want to go out. That's the
Mm-hmm.
way he want to go out. But I think Spence he got too many weapons. He got too many. He got Father Time on his hands, on his side. He got that granite ass chin. He got those sound fundamentals. He got the best trainer outside of Eddie Reynoso.
Yeah, yeah,
I was for James. I would put him over Eddie Reynoso.
Yeah, what's his name? Derek James.
Derrick James, he got
Yeah,
two unified champions.
yeah,
Two, not one,
two, yeah.
two,
Two
two
top
unified champions.
for me, two top 10 pound for pounders as well. They should
Mm-hmm.
both be in the top 10 as well. Let me ask you this. Ahmed's asking a question. He's saying Mike Tyson v. Floyd Mayweather. Who's the biggest star in America?
Uh, Mike Tyson is more beloved here in the
Okay.
state. Uh, Floyd Mayweather is like he's like the ultimate heel. He's like the ultimate villain.
Yeah, yeah,
That you hate. People are admit, we live in a social media type of existence, and where everything's predicated. Your validation comes uh, 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 about how much you owe, how much you have. So people
mm.
see his exuberant lifestyle, his money and stuff, and that's what they kind of but they don't really love Floyd Mayweather like that. Everybody, Mike Tyson is almost like people
An icon.
saw unbelief, yeah, you know. Um, and I was gonna say too, like my people, black people, what I'm saying, black boxing fans, they love Floyd Mayweather. Now he do have a hardcore fan in them,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
to the point to where like sometimes it's kind of hard to deal with these guys. It's kind of hard to reason with them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
they don't see anything outside of Floyd Mayweather. You say anything about Floyd Mayweather, and I'm gonna say it too. I'm gonna say this too. The Mexican fan base, they fuck with Canelo.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
About Canelo, if you could you could see both of them, dude,
Mm,
you go to war.
mm.
And it gets to a point where it's like a lot of shit they say is illogical. Like, man, nobody is unbeatable.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and I would be remiss if I said that Floyd Mayweather wasn't a beneficiary of a lot of luck. A lot of
Mm.
things happened in his career that just went right. It just
Stephen,
went right.
you don't seem a big fan of Floyd Mayweather. I don't think you're a big fan. I don't think you're a big fan of some of the stuff that he did or the way he managed his career, and you feel like it's had a bad impact. Some of the stuff that he's done is having a bad impact on the sport today. I feel like that's what I feel like. I don't know. Maybe you can express yourself here.
Yeah. That's I'm not a big fan of Floyd. No. You know who I'm a big fan of? I'm a
Who?
big fan of Pretty Boy
Oh
Floyd.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh, when that motherfucker was banger, when he
yeah,
went when he went in and saying he gave as much as he could take. I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
I'm a big fan of Pretty Boy, not
Mm,
this Money Mayweather shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And same with Canelo. Man, when Canelo came out, little known fact about me, little known fact, because I fuck with boxing. I love boxing. I
Mm,
absolutely love it. I can talk about boxing all day.
mm,
But
mm,
what about me was Canelo. When I first seen Canelo, I was
mm,
I was solid Canelo fan. I was a
mm.
solid Canelo fan, but he's changed a little bit because
Yeah,
he's the money man. He's
yeah,
the
yeah,
new
yeah,
Floyd Mayweather.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So y'all see these fights that he's winning, but you don't see the maneuvering, the
Mm,
the the behind the scenes shit where they done made the right decisions for him.
mm,
Canelo is the benefit. He was the Oscar De La Hoya was gone. You
mm,
know, Floyd took his spot. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I want Spence to go ahead and beat Pac-Man because I like Spence's approach. Hopefully he doesn't change. But
mm,
if Spence can beat, if he'll beat Pac-Man, he's gonna be the biggest star in boxing.
mm,
He's
mm.
the biggest star in boxing. And I love to have somebody who's honorable and just like a gangster, a killer representing the sport.
But
Because
Stephen, here's the thing: you say that about Spence, that he's gangster, but yet we're having the same issues with Spence in terms of like him saying, "I want more money against Crawford. I'm the big dog. I deserve a 70-30 split." So isn't he doing exactly the same thing as what Floyd did, Stephen?
I'm kind of being a hypocrite. Like, yeah, if you be honest, man, that he's kind of
Yeah,
doing that. He's kind of doing that.
because it's
He
not a
have
thug. It's not a thug. Like he's gonna get paid a lot of money to fight Crawford, right? So Listen, I think if he beats Pacquiao, he deserves the lion's share. To be honest, even though I've been critical of Spence, even though I think he beats Crawford, I've been critical of Spence, saying that it should be a 50-50 fight because Crawford has achieved more than Spence in terms of titles and achievement. He's been an undisputed champion. He's been a world champion at 3 different weight classes. However, there's no denying that Spence is a bigger star. Spence has also now pay-per-view wise done bigger numbers than Crawford. It's not even close. Crawford's highest pay-per-view fight was against Amir Khan that did 150,000 pay-per-view buys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had another pay-per-view fight against Postal, which did about 60,000 pay-per-view buys. The guy's not a star. Let's be honest. He's not a star. Spence is doing big numbers now. He's going to fight Pacquiao. That fight's probably going to do 500,000 pay-per-views plus. So Spence probably does deserve, but going off what you just said, right? Going off what you just said, does that show that Spence is doing the same thing as Floyd and thing? He doesn't want to take 50-50, even though he deserves probably more. But if you really want to take that legacy fight, that legacy defining fight, because listen, Pacquiao's not going to be his legacy defining fight. It's a great name, but people are going to say, well, he was past his best. Porter, a great name, don't get me wrong, a great name, but Crawford's that name. Crawford's that name that's going to take your legacy. That's going to make you an all-time great. Crawford's that guy is like what Duran was to Leonard, what Hagler and Leonard were, what Hearns and Leonard were, what Hearns and Duran. Do you see what I mean? Crawford is that name for Spence. But but Spence is playing hard to get. Spence is saying, I'm the big dog.
It just ain't Spence. It ain't all Spence, man. It's
I agree. Crawford could take the smallest slice as well and say, you know what? I'm gonna beat the brakes of this guy, and then I'm gonna become the biggest star in the sport.
Yeah. But, one thing I don't want to do. I ain't gonna do this with you. I ain't gonna say it's all Spence because probably know well that he know damn well that he's the B side. He's the B side. And the B side in a fight like this is gonna be astronomical. The B side, I'll take the B side. That's gonna be some good money for him.
Yeah.
Fight, man. Go on and take that fight, man, and get it over with. Because both of them acting like they scared. Both of them acting like they just. What you hold now for at this point? After this fight, Spence needs to make that fight and then say, approach it. It's enough money to be made in that fight where he can say, "Fuck it, let's just go 50-50."
Yeah. You know what, Stephen? This reminds me. I think this might become the British version of Khan and Brook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fight never happens. Like Amir Khan obviously felt he was the bigger star, the bigger name. He deserved the lion's share, which, to be honest, Kell Brook was willing to give Amir the lion's share. He already said, you can have the lion's share, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like I feel like there was a different narrative and a different motive there because I think Khan obviously he didn't want to lose to Brook. Do you see what I mean? Because it meant a lot. As a British, you wouldn't want to lose to another British fighter. It means a lot here. For me, Spence and Crawford's different. For me, Spence and Crawford, which what Khan and Brook was as well. Khan and Brook was the same. Egos.
Mm-hmm.
Egos. Spence believes he's the big dog, right? And he believes he's the man. Do you know what I mean? He's the A side, and he is the A side. He is the A side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that I just think that people are looking at Spence and people are calling out Spence. I'm telling you what a lot of people in the UK are saying. People a lot of people, boxing fans that I spoke to are saying Spence is ducking Crawford. So this is why when I put the blame on Spence, and I'm not putting the blame on Spence, I'm saying Spence is the A side. It's for Spence to make the moves. Khan was the A side against Brook. He's gonna get accused of ducking, not Brook, because Khan was the A side. Spence is the A side. It's for them to make the move, not for the B side to make the move. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I don't understand what you're saying, but damn, he said after this fight, he already reached out to Bob and them. Bob and them, Bob Arum is old as sea now. He's crotchety. He's hard to work with. He's then he got his superstar, his best fighter outside of Fury is a guy that don't really give a fuck about making a name for himself. They just don't help themselves out. It's not all Spence and them, man. And the difference between that, Khan and Brooke was, Brooke, like the youngsters will say, like the youngsters over here say, Brooke wanted all the smoke because he knew he could beat Khan. Khan had the name, and Khan had the name and the money and everything, and he had all that shit going, and he just wasn't. It just wasn't a good business move for Khan because he didn't want to smoke. That's the difference. But I think, like you said, with Crawford, Bud, and Spence, they both feel like they're the big dog.
Yeah.
They both feel like they're the big dog, but Crawford's been, I think Crawford is doing more ducking than Spence. I think he's doing more than Spence. You know why I say that?
Yeah.
It's Crawford knows that he can make some good money. He can build his name. He can, if he's really that good, then he can beat Spence. Take a lesser amount. Stop talking about side of the streets. That's silly shit. Which side of the street and all this kind of stuff. Make the fight, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, so do you? The thing is, I just think that I just don't see Crawford. Crawford's a man of principle. He's not gonna take. He's not gonna take less than 50-50. No way. I just don't see it. I don't see it, Stephen. He's already said. He goes the only way. The only way that this fight is gonna happen if there's a bigger split is if I take 60-40. He goes, I'm not going to take less than 50-50. He goes, if there's a 60-40 split, I'm taking the 60%, not him. So Crawford's already said it. Crawford's got an ego. He's not going to take less than 50-50. He's just not going to.
So what does that tell you? What is he really saying by saying that? He's really saying to himself that this is the only way I can validate and I can bring merit to my reason for not wanting to fight Spence because I can't beat him. Any other way to look at it is illogical at this point because you're not the bigger name and you haven't did anything in the welterweight division. So that's just cold talk, subliminal talk for I can't beat Spence and I don't want to fight him because it's I can't if I can't. If you have a bigger name than me, I can't command more than what you'll make. Math on that is skewed. So that's cold out for I can't beat Spence.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Crawford wants to fight Spence. I just don't. I feel Crawford he's being disrespected, and his achievements in boxing aren't being respected. That's what Crawford feels.
That's not true, man. That's not true, man. I wish we lived in a world where that was true, but it's just not true. It's just not true. Spence has a bigger name.
Yeah, he is a bigger name. I agree. I agree with that. And I did say that I think he does deserve the bigger split, especially if he beats Pacquiao, right? Because let's be honest, this is gonna do over 500,000 pay-per-views. I can't see it doing it less, right?
Might be more than it might even be
maybe more. This is what I mean. I think this is a bigger fight than Fury Wilder. This is a bigger fight than Fury Wilder, and that's gonna do good numbers. We know that. So this is a bigger fight for me.
If Spence wins this fight with Manny Pacquiao, it's gonna be hard for Bud to exist in the welterweight division because he's gonna be so massively undersized in terms of his name, his image, and everything. And Spence is gonna be leaps and bounds. He's gonna be able to command fights with whoever he wants. And if that's the way Bud is thinking, then he's gonna get less than that. The next time they fight, I mean, when it's time to get to negotiate, he's gonna get less than whatever the percentage is he wants.
Yeah.
You real quick, I just want to make what's the problem with Bud fighting some quality fighters at this point? If you can't get Spence, then there's Sean Porter.
Who though? Who though? That's the thing.
There's Sean Porter.
Mm-hmm.
There, there's Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
There's Mikey Garcia. There's you want to fight, if you really want to test your gangster against Virgil Ortiz. There's a lot of fighters he can fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the thing is, like, if he fights Virgil Ortiz, for example, and beats Virgil Ortiz, everyone's gonna say, well, Virgil Ortiz was green. Virgil Ortiz wasn't like he wasn't a top like Porter. He'll get credit for because Porter's a big name. Porter's he's an accomplished fighter, but for some reason those fights aren't being made, and he's been looking bad. Now I don't listen. Josh Taylor's a good fighter, and he's become undisputed at the weight class below. But if just say that fight gets made, Crawford smokes Josh Taylor, which I believe he'd beat Josh Taylor, right?
He'll beat him.
He's not going to get no credit for that. What's he going to get credit for beating Josh Taylor?
Yeah, he ain't gonna get no. He'll get some credit for it because Josh Taylor's that's a name. Start fighting fighters. Let's start with doing that. We'll worry
what's
about
the more credible fight then, Stephen? Porter or Taylor?
Porter. You got me talking like you with your accent. Yeah, Porter though. Yeah.
So who say that again?
I said Porter.
Yeah, Porter. So who does, if Crawford, we can't get Crawford in the ring with Crawford can't get in the ring with anybody, right? I don't know. To be honest, this situation between Spence and Crawford is terrible because this fight needs to happen next. But I don't see it happening. Because I've already said that Spence wants to fight. Yeah, it's one thing saying that Spence wants to fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, Spence may want to fight Crawford, but how are they going to come to terms? How are they going to come to agreement? They're not going to.
Well, Crawford talking about right now. He's talking about going to 154. If Spence is really that gangster, I'm putting it on Spence's shoulders now. If Spence is really about the business, if he really with the business, what he'll do is he'll follow Bud. So Bud is talking about going to 154. If I Spence, if I want this fight, if I really want to prove myself, you know what? I'm gonna say after I beat Pac-Man, fuck it, I'm going to 154. You can't avoid me.
But he can't become undisputed. He wants to become undisputed, don't he?
Yeah.
But he can't become undisputed without beating Crawford.
Yeah, he can't. But what he can do to offset that, to make it right, you get what I'm saying? That if Crawford, because Crawford's he's talking about moving up.
Yeah.
He's been talking about moving up. I think that's what he's gonna do. Danny Garcia's talking about moving up. I will follow them where they at. Follow them 154 and make them, you didn't unify at 147 because Crawford, jump ship, but you can still make that legacy fight happen. And what better way to grab the headlines and capture the hearts of the boxing real fans like us, like me and you, follow that motherfucker to 154 and getting it on with him at 154. What better way to do it?
The split, though. How are they going to come to agreement with that split?
Man, piss on that split, man. Tired of talking about this split. Piss on that split, man. Just make it happen. Make it happen, man. Stop being so unreasonable and non-pliable. Man, you can't get more than what you you can't get more than what you you can't go to your employer and say, hey, I know I made $30,000 a year, but I want you to give me $60,000.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
I get. Yeah. I agree, man. I agree with what you're saying there, man. Agree with what you're saying. Just a quick one. Last Bell Boxing said that Imran, you're being a bit disrespectful to Josh Taylor. Is man being disrespectful to Josh Taylor? I like Josh Taylor. I think he's a very good fighter at 140. The problem is, right, the perception of 140-pound fighters right? And the perception of 147-pound fighters, they're seen as different cats. They're seen as almost like leopards and lions. You know what I mean? The 147-pound division is a monster division. The 140-pound division is like I said, like leopards. And the 147-pound division is like lions. You know what I mean? So the problem is, right, if Josh Taylor comes to 147, right, I'm pretty sure all of you agree that Josh Taylor's not beating Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford beats Josh Taylor. People are going to say, well, who did he just fight? He just fought a guy that was a small 140-pounder. So he's not really going to get any credit, right? Now, if we put Josh Taylor in there, I don't know what your opinion is about this, Stephen. You put Josh Taylor in there with Thurman, Porter, Garcia, what's his name? Spence, Crawford. Even if you put Josh Taylor in there with Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis, they're prospects, by the way. Would you favor him to beat those guys?
He loses all those. Josh Taylor's sweet spot is right here at 140 because he's the best 140-pounder in the world.
Yeah.
You know, he beat Regis Prograis. They can make that fight again, but his sweet spot is at 140. He's not equipped to deal with the monsters at 147. Not even the prospects.
Wow.
Now, you see what happened with Mikey Garcia?
Yeah. But I will say what's his name? Taylor's bigger than Mikey Garcia, but Mikey Garcia, Mikey Garcia, for me, a more skilled fighter, a more accomplished fighter than Josh Taylor. He's beaten some really, really good names. Mikey Garcia is a full-weight world champion, a really, really accomplished world champion.
Yeah, he's not.
By the way, I don't know if Josh Taylor beats Mikey, by the way. I don't know if he beats Mikey.
I disagree with you when you say that he's not. I think Josh Taylor's he's more skilled than Mikey Garcia.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah, he is. Josh Taylor's a good fighter, man. He's the best 140-pounder in the world.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And he beat Regis Prograis.
Yeah. He did. He beat That was a close fight, though. Come on, that could have gone the other way, man. That was razor. That was like, I don't even know if he won that fight. That was close, very close.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that fight again tonight. It was a good fight. I'm gonna watch it again.
Very, very close, man. I'm talking. There was a lot of people in the UK that thought Taylor lost that. That was razor thin, Stephen. I'm talking like, razor thin. But anyway, he got the decision. People said if Josh Taylor fought what's his name? If he fought Regis in America, Regis would have got that decision. Because he fought in the UK, he got that decision. But yeah, I think it was a close fight anyway. Close fight. But
so you think Mikey is you think Mikey could pull it off?
I agree with you. I actually think Josh Taylor could beat Mikey. I think Josh Taylor's he's a bigger. I think he's a bigger guy because Mikey's come from like featherweight, so he could. But what I mean is Mikey beat Jesse Vargas and I'm pretty sure was that fight at welterweight or 154. That's a good win, man. Jesse Vargas can fight, Stephen.
Yeah, he can, man. He can.
And he beat him comfortably as well. He dropped him. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know whether. But you just said that Josh Taylor gets beat by even the prospects, Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis. So what I'm saying is the welterweight division is a completely different division. Yeah. Keith Thurman used to say something a while, 5 years ago. Keith Thurman said, right, that all these fighters that move up, and then they hit a wall. And he goes, that wall is normally the welterweight division, right? Yeah. And we saw that with Mikey Garcia. We've seen that with many other fighters that jumping up to welterweight is a problem.
It's like this, man. It's like this. In boxing, a real boxing guy is gonna know this. The heavyweight division is for the casuals. It's for everybody else. That's where all the glamour is. It's like glamour rock. Whereas the welterweight division is punk rock. It's for hardcore people. It's always been the division where all the greats come from. Ray Leonard, you know, you name them. There's too many. There's so many to name, and they all reside at 147. 147 is always going to be the best weight class in boxing for some reason. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is, man. It is. Look at the fighters we've had at the 147-pound division. Like over the last like 10, 15 years, we've had some great fighters, man. Some great fighters. Do you know what I mean? Like most of the best fighters have been in that division.
Yep, at 147, man. At 147. They all at 147. Just think about back in the day, man. Think about back in the day when Zab Judah was doing his stuff.
Oh, Zab Judah, what a fighter he was, man.
Woo! That was a bad. Zab Judah was fucking, man. He was awesome.
He was.
Think about Arturo Gatti. You know what I'm saying? Arturo Gatti and Diego Chico Corrales. And fucking Emmanuel Augustus. You know what I'm saying? When he's Emmanuel Burton.
Paul Williams.
Who?
Paul Williams, man.
Paul Williams. I seen Paul Williams fight. I seen him when he was a up and coming prospect. I seen him live.
Yeah. Oh. Floyd ducked him. Floyd for me ducked Paul Williams, man.
No question he ducked him.
He didn't want that work, man. He didn't want that work.
Like the youngsters say, he didn't want that smoke.
No, he didn't. He didn't want that smoke. No way.
Nah.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. You know, and they want to say, you know, I was listening to Blue Blood, and he was talking about Floyd when he called Shane Mosley out when Shane Mosley was a beast in the field. Shane Mosley was killed. He would have killed that boy. He would have killed Floyd, but they fought.
Mosley was a monster back in the day.
He was a fucking monster, man.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was a monster,
and Margarito. Dude. Floyd Doc Margarito as well.
Yeah. And that's what I said, man. Listen, man, I don't want to be starting no trouble. I don't, sometimes like after our lives and stuff, some of your people they'll comment to me, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's not that, man. It's not that. I want to tell the truth about everything. I want to give my true feelings. They may not be in alignment with what you feel, but I just wanted I want to see things fairly, and I call things fairly. But it doesn't matter if it's Floyd Mayweather, Shane Mosley, or Canelo. You know, Floyd Mayweather, he ducked Margarito. He damn sure ducked Paul Williams, and he ducked Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Those are facts. That's already in the books. Unfortunately, we can't do anything to about that. He ducked.
I also think he ducked Khan as well, man. Like he chose Khan. He chose Maidana over Khan, right?
Yep.
Khan won the poll on his vote, right? And Khan beat Maidana.
Yeah.
But he chose Maidana.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
I don't think he wanted that. And Khan was a big money fight for him because Khan had a big name. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know. He didn't. I do agree about Furman. As well. I think he. I think he ducked, man. I think he ducked a few names. I would have, as British fans, we would have loved to see that fight, but we didn't really get to see it, man. We saw him fight one British guy, Ricky Hatton, and
it didn't go too well.
Yeah, it didn't go too well, man. It didn't go too well. To be honest, Ricky Hatton, I just don't think Ricky Hatton had the physicality. I don't think so. Last Bell Boxing said Floyd would have smoked Khan. He did duck him though. Like whether he would have smoked him is irrelevant. He didn't fight him. He didn't fight him. He did duck him.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't take that fight because I think with Floyd, I think he saw the boxing ability, the skill set of American, and I kind of like, oh, I don't want to chance my record.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That he saw the speed and because Khan was tall. Remember, Khan was tall as well. He was taller than Floyd. There was a lot of people. I'm talking back when when Khan was in his prime, like 10 years ago. I'm talking Roy Jones. Roy Jones said that if he goes, Floyd, there's no one beating Floyd, but he goes, if he wants to keep that undefeated record, he needs to stay away from Amir Khan. Paulie Malignaggi said Amir Khan would beat Floyd Mayweather. Styles all wrong, right? Nigel Benn, after the Devin Alexander fight, said that Amir Khan beats Floyd Mayweather. There was many, Johnny Nelson here in the UK, even though Johnny Nelson comes out with a lot of stuff which not everyone agrees with, but there was a lot of like Malignaggi, for example. I respect that guy's opinion. He speaks from the heart. He speaks the truth, right?
Yeah, he knows boxing.
And yeah, he does. And he said that Khan would have beaten Mayweather. So when like I don't personally think so. I think Floyd was too good and he would have worked Amir out somewhere along the line. But the fact of the matter is that I agree with you, man. I think Floyd looked at Khan and he saw something that was a problem and he didn't want it.
Yeah,
he didn't want it. There's nothing to Khan and Mayweather got talked about for years. And you can't say Robert Guerrero, Victor Ortiz, Marcus Maidana, some of the guys some of the guys that he fought like Cotto, Mosley. These were guys that, fair enough, we'll give you that if you pick them over Khan, right? But Robert Guerrero, what's his name? Marcus Maidana, the other guy that I mentioned, Victor Ortiz, like Berto. These are not better fighters than Khan. These are not better or bigger names than Khan either. We all know Mayweather was about the money, right? Yeah. So the fact of the matter is that he didn't want Floyd didn't want to fight. I mean, so Last Bell Boxing said Khan had no chance. It's not about the fact that I think Mayweather would have beat him, but the fact is Floyd didn't want to take that fight because he knew it was a risk.
He knew it was risky.
It was a risk. It's not about the fact that I think whether Floyd would win or it's irrelevant. I believe Floyd beats Amir Khan, right? Even though I think Amir Khan would have given him serious problems, right? And a lot more problems than Ricky Hatton gave him. Believe you me, right? But the fact of the matter is that Floyd looked at Khan and he looked at something and he didn't want it. He didn't want it. Otherwise, why didn't he fight him? There's no reason for him not fighting. No reason. Yeah. There's no reason. There's no reason for him not fighting him. And yet he led him on so many times. If you fight on my undercard, I'll fight you, right? But then maybe it's the same. Maybe it's kind of like karma because Khan didn't fight Brook. And Khan was chasing Mayweather. So it's kind of like karma. So it's one of those things, you know what I mean? Where he didn't get the Mayweather fight. Brook didn't get the Khan fight, although Brook might still get it now. Both past their prime, might still fight. But at the end of the day, it was what it was. You know what I mean? Floyd didn't take certain fights. I think the Thurman and Khan fight, I think Khan was more early on, like 2012, 13. Thurman was more towards the end, 2015, 16. You know, when Floyd was coming to the end, Thurman started developing a name. And I think people wanted him to fight Thurman. Thurman was seen as a legit guy. Thurman was a bad man at that point.
Yeah.
I don't think Thurman would have beaten Floyd either. I think what's his name? Floyd would have beat Thurman as well. I honestly think so. You don't think so? You don't think so?
Not then. No, he wouldn't have.
Really?
That's why he didn't take that fight, man.
Hey?
That's why he didn't take the fight. Yeah,
that's why.
You know, I don't think he would have beat him, man. He wouldn't have beat Keith Thurman back then. No. Nope.
You don't think so? Do you think there any time that he could have beaten Keith Thurman in his career?
Yeah, when Keith Thurman was green, you know, when he was green but like back then, no, he couldn't beat Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was, you know, he was one time Thurman. Shit, that motherfucker was clearing house. Keith Thurman, man, listen, a lot of people give Keith Thurman a hard time, but shit, man, Keith Thurman at one point in time, he was unified champ. He ain't no slouch, man.
Yeah, Keith Thurman was a great fighter, man. So basically, I'm having a question from Last Bell Boxing. He says, was Khan in your top 5 British in his weight class? I think you're trolling me there now. That's a silly question, man. That's a silly question. In what weight class? What, at 140 and 147? Who was name me 5 better fighters than Khan at 140? Who's better than Khan at 140?
Yeah, there was a time of
Can't
Khan.
name me five better
Khan
British fighters than Khan, man. At
yeah,
140, he's up there
yeah.
with Hatton, Taylor. He's up for me. He would have beaten Hatton, right? The only one that really competing with him is Taylor. Really, come on, you can't say he's not top five. Come on, even at welterweight, who was at
He
welterweight?
beat Taylor too. I think he beats Taylor
Yeah,
too.
I think he beats Taylor. I personally think he beats Taylor in his
Not
prime.
now, but yeah, back
Not
then,
now,
yeah.
not now, but in his prime.
Yeah.
So, oh wow, Last Bell Boxing says he doesn't make either of mine. He's saying there's 5 better British fighters than Amir Khan at 140 and 147.
Tell him, ask him who.
You must be trolling, Carl. I reckon he's trolling. He's good at trolling. No way. Hatton would have broke him up on the inside. Wow. What do you think, Stephen? Do you think Hatton beats Khan?
No, not Khan in his prime. No, Hatton was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I love Ricky Hatton. But no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't skilled enough to even get in on the inside of Amir Khan. Amir Khan had impeccable defense. He had good defense, and he was so fast, so twitchy. So what do you say?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. He said I can't believe that he wouldn't put him in his top 5 at 100. Like I don't think there's 5 better guys out there better than Amir Khan at, I think this would have been a hard fight. This is a good fight. He said, Ahmed says Amir Khan in his prime v Keith Thurman. You know what? Keith Thurman was a dangerous fight for Khan, man. Stylistically, that wasn't a great fight for him.
Yeah, he's more powerful than Khan.
He was more powerful. He punched harder.
And he was a good boxer too.
Yeah, and he was a good boxer. That was a horrible fight. I actually think Khan would have beaten. I actually think Khan would have beaten Danny in the rematch if they had fought. And I think Danny didn't want that fight in the I don't think they wanted that fight because I think they thought that he may get outboxed. His pops thought that, you know what? I feel like it's a bit like the Lomachenko Lopez situation. They didn't want that rematch. I don't think Garcia wanted that rematch. I felt like they knocked him out and they kind of didn't want that rematch.
Because he was getting smoked before he knocked him out.
Yeah, he was getting dealt with before he got dropped by that left hook. Man. They were good days, man. They were days when they all used to fight each other, man.
Yep. I remember that fight is kind of like the Canelo fight when he fought Canelo.
Yeah,
he was smoking Canelo to Canelo knocked him out.
Yeah. Canelo was too big though, man. Too big.
Yeah, he was way too big, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Agree. He probably won every round. He probably won every round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garcia, man. What's next for Danny Garcia?
Go to 154. Go to 154, campaign a little bit, and I hope he's done something with his money because he doesn't strike me as. I mean, he's not the most intelligent guy, so I don't see him. He can go into training. I know he's doing some stuff with real estate. Go to 154 and campaign for a minute and retire with your faculties and why you still got them. What'd you say?
Yeah, I think 150. I think 154. But I think those guys at 154 might be too big, Stephen. Don't you think?
Yeah.
They're big guys, man. Some of them are like 6 feet.
Yeah. Danny Garcia he's strong though. He's real strong. So I don't know. I mean, you might be right.
Yeah. Just a quick one on the chat. Ray, you need to get a hold of Carl, man. You need to get a hold of Carl. This guy, what did he say the other day? That Calzaghe's better than Froch. He said Calzaghe's better than Froch. He put Carl Froch ahead of Calzaghe, and now he's saying Khan don't make top 5 at welterweight or light welterweight. I'm shocked. I can't believe it.
How good was Joe Calzaghe?
Hey,
God,
he was quick, eh?
Man, that motherfucker was good, man.
He was good. He would he have beaten Froch? Stephen, would he have beaten Froch?
He would have smoked Froch.
He would have smoked Froch.
He would have
I
smoked
agree
him.
with you. He would have smoked him. What, like knockout or decision?
He would have knocked Froch out.
Oh,
Joe Calzaghe?
yeah, Joe Calzaghe. Yeah.
He would have knocked him out. That was the only way that was gonna end. That's the only way I could see that ending.
Calzaghe was fast, man. He was fast.
He was fast and he was powerful too. He had a little pop.
Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah. Of course, he had power, man. He had power. Froch had a granite chin, though. I will give him that. Froch had a good chin. He had a good chin. I personally think Calzaghe would have beat him on points. I think he would have flat out lost him.
He would have not called Froch out.
Wow. Basically, Last Bell Boxing, he's a big Carl Froch fan because he's from Nottingham. And he basically the top 5 super middleweight, and he put Carl Froch #1 over Calzaghe. And obviously, like here in the UK, like Froch isn't that liked compared to Calzaghe's like seen as one of the best British fighters. You know what I mean? I'm baiting you to come on. Yeah, to have a debate with me and Stephen. There's no way Froch is better than Calzaghe. No way.
Maybe later in later on when Calzaghe was out of his prime and everything, but Joe Calzaghe was a boogeyman he was the boogeyman back then. Nobody really wanted to fight him.
Yeah. Calzaghe v. Andre Ward. Who wins that?
Andre SOG Ward.
You think Ward schools him?
Yeah, and listen, man, I ain't saying it just because Ward is from the. Listen, they need to do what they was doing back then. When Andre Ward was in, when they had that Super Six tournament, that's what they need to start doing in boxing. But when he ran that gauntlet and he beat everybody, shit, Andre Ward was the real deal. I do think that Kovalev beat him the first fight.
Oh yeah, I do, yeah. But Kovalev was a monster.
He was a monster. He's a monster. That's what I'm saying. You know, not to get on Canelo, but he does the same shit that Floyd does. He went and he fought Kovalev when he was washed up, you know, because that Kovalev that fought is Andre Ward. He was a bad dude, man.
Yeah, Ward was something. Ward was something special, man.
Man.
Ward for me was one of the greatest. Like I feel he's so underappreciated. Ward. He's so underappreciated. So he doesn't get the credit, man. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I think Ward was legit.
Yeah, he's one of the best middleweights ever.
Oh yeah. Well, not even close.
Yeah,
not even close. He was so good, so gifted. He ain't lost a fight since he was 12.
Yeah. So I got him beating Joe Calzaghe.
We already saw what he did to Froch, Stephen.
Yeah.
We saw what he did to Froch. He took him apart. Like that's what I call a schooling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I call a schooling. He schooled Froch, man. And Kessler was a good fighter as well.
Kessler was a good fighter. I was looking at Kessler the other night, just reminiscing. I was just, sometimes I watch old fights. Kessler was a gangster.
We got Gamo in the house. What's going on, Gamo?
What up, man? I was about to go to the gym like an hour or two. Has seen you live, so I just wanted to tap in, man. Just finished my lunch, so shit.
What time is it? What time is it? Where are you from?
It's 11 a.m. here in LA. Around 1, I'm gonna go to Fortune Gym Boxing here. So I'm training for 2 hours, get some work, and I seen you live, man. Y'all talking about Danny Garcia?
Yeah, we were talking about we spoke about Garcia, we spoke about Pacquiao. But yeah, any news about Pacquiao?
I'll ask Justin today, man. But they already have their game plan for when he lands here in LA. And they'll just go from there. He's gonna be landing here second week of July.
Mm.
It'll take like a day or two just to settle in, and then Monday he'll start um running, training, and then he'll go from there before fight week.
What do you think? Do you think, so Pacquiao, when did you say Pacquiao's coming over to LA?
Should be second week of July when he's landing.
All right, okay, second week, so it's like a couple of weeks then.
Yeah, I'd say maybe July second week, man. I'm not too sure, but I'm ready, man. When he lands, definitely ready. Did you see those videos I sent you
Oh
of him
yeah,
training
yeah, I
with
had a look
Manny?
at him,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah,
had a look at him. Basically, I had a look at those videos, man. Like you were being interviewed by Ellie, and then I saw you in the background when Manny was training. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this camp, man, because everybody's doubting. But I mean, we'll just see fight night, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Manny loses, at all. I'm rooting for him, but Spence has the edge: size, power, height, reach.
Damo, what does
Yeah,
Pacquiao have to
yeah.
do? What does Pacquiao have to do, man?
See, Spence's jab is going to be the problem, man. It's going to be straight in his face. So he's going to have to go in and out really, really quick, or he's going to get caught with Spence's jab, man. If he tries to do that thing where he just double jabs left and slips to the side, since he's fighting Spence, a southpaw, he could get caught, man, with that jab. All Spence has to do, just stick it out. He'll get caught with it, man. So he's just working on going in and out fast. It's just going to be hard at his age, man, to keep that kind of speed for 12
Mm.
rounds.
So how do you do you think how do you think, like, I think Pacquiao, he can't get too close to Spence. He can't be too far away, otherwise Spence's jab is going to be just keeping him at bay. So Pacquiao needs to find the right distance in order to land the punches, because obviously Spence is a bigger man.
Yeah, Manny's going to take his punches. He's going to eat them. I already know the way he's looking in training. He's going to eat some to take some. I don't think he's really well, he hasn't felt Spence's power yet, but I think he from what he's seen, he was at the Mikey Garcia fight live. I think he knows he can take Spence's power. He's been in the ring with him when he called him out. So I think he can take Spence's power, man. Spence does have power, man, but his power is inflated a little bit, man. He's a break you down type of fighter. So it's accumulation of punches, really. It's not really one punch knockout power. I mean, he can knock you out with one punch. Anybody can. But he's a break you down accumulation type fighter. And Porter and Garcia said that Thurman hits a little bit harder, man, than
What?
Spence. So yeah.
Yeah, I won't be surprised, because Thurman's explosive.
Thurman's more
Thurman's
of a boxer puncher. Yeah.
yeah, he is.
And
And Thurman's
Spence like a come
explosive.
forward guy. Yeah, he is explosive, man.
Spence ain't explosive like that.
Well, Spence starts off slow. Um, Thurman's more of a boxer puncher. Spence is kind of break you down, come forward when he sees you weak. I'll try to capitalize on it. We'll have to see, man. But I know Manny's gonna come in 110% for this fight. He's gonna come in the best condition he can be, and he's gonna take Spence's belts, man. I'm just definitely rooting for that. I'll eat my words if he loses, man. But I'm definitely rooting for Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Do you want to add anything to that, Stephen?
I mean, not really. I mean, like you said, Spence got that jab. If he can find a way to neutralize the jab, he got a pretty good shot at beating him. But in all likelihood, that's probably not going to be the case. I think he described Spence to a T. He's not really a twitchy fast fighter, but he's like a locomotive. Like once he gets going, he's full steam ahead. He just keeps coming and coming, and that's gonna be shit. Having somebody like Spence that big and that strong coming at you all night for an old man, that's gonna be hard for him. It's gonna be hard for him to continue with.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's gonna be hard. With Spence's size, man, and Manny Manny's a boxing wizard now. You know, he's the old man in the game. But
Mm-hmm.
he still prepares himself come the fight. But for Manny to win, man, he's gonna have to back Spence up uh, for a good amount of the fight. He's gonna have to back Spence up, pressure him, have him shell up like how he does when he gets frustrated. He's gonna have to frustrate him, man. He's gonna have to use those angles like crazy. Have a high punch output to overwhelm Spence, back him up, make him fight his fight. I think that's one of the best ways he can win. You're gonna have to back him up, not be on the ropes, not get caught on the ropes, and just back up Spence most of the fight, fluster him, not know where you're coming from, and just try to outland him, man. Be more accurate, and not get hit. But Spence has a good defense too, man. Definitely, he has great defense. It's just when you
Gamo,
get him on the back foot. When you get him on the back foot for an extent, he will get frustrated because he doesn't like fighting on the back foot. And I think that's what Manny saw. That's why he took the fight.
Gamo, you're close to Pacquiao. I mean, you're close to Team Pacquiao. Last Bell Boxing has asked a good question. It says, ask him, does Manny retire if this fight he wins or loses?
Well, he just said in a recent interview in Tagalog, he said that this fight is to see if he belongs in boxing still. And the reporter
Oh,
asked him, "Could this be your last fight?" Well, he said maybe it could be. So he said this fight will tell everybody if I still belong in boxing.
you're cutting off, Gamo. Gamo, you're cutting off. Your connection's dodgy. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He'll be back, Gamo. Gamo will be back. But yeah, what do you think? What's your take on it, Stephen? Should he retire?
Yeah, he should. He
Even
should.
if he wins?
Even if he wins, I think he should retire because it's time to relinquish the throne to somebody else. There's a lot of other boxers that deserve the nurturing and the attention from fans in general. And we're never gonna get to know these guys if you got guys like Pac-Man and Floyd still boxing.
Mm.
Um, so it's time to like let the young guys shine if he does win or lose. And Pac-Man could do what the fuck he want, man. He
Yeah.
got more money than he can spend. He got his own basketball team. He can
Mm.
do a lot of things. He's gonna become prime minister or whatever you said. Pac-Man is just he got the world for the world. The world is his.
Yeah.
You know, so he don't have to spend his time boxing no more. He's already a phenomenal boxer, one of the best boxers we've seen.
Mm.
We've had the pleasure of seeing. You know, so I think he does need to retire after this.
Yeah,
Gamo.
definitely, man. He does need to retire. Man, he retired already in 2016, but he came back. It's just that nobody's making him retire, man. Everybody thought he was already done after that fourth Marquez knockout. Um, and everybody thought he was done from there, and he went on to have a whole second part of his career. Um, and I told him personally, man, like how he's feeling. Because I've talked to Manny. I've told him too, man. I've asked him about the 100 million he made with Floyd, joking around, telling him, man, I doubt you spent even half of that. And he just started laughing. He was like, yeah, man, trust me. Because people say he needs the money. He made over 100 million with Floyd. Like, come on, he ain't even spent half of that, and it's only been like 5 years. So he's not fighting for the money. He's fighting for the legacy, man. And he needs somebody to beat him up, like beat him up, hurt him to where he doesn't want to box anymore, man. He still has it in him, man. Even though the killer instinct's not there, like in his prime, he still wants to fight. He has a drive, man. That raging testosterone, it's in him, man. And Asians do age differently, age a little bit better, you could say. But it's just nobody's taking him out, man. If Thurman would have knocked him out, I'm sure he would have not kept fighting. If Broner would have knocked him out or won, I'm sure he wouldn't have kept fighting, man. It's just it's the momentum he has right now. And he said this will definitely be his last fight if he loses. This is to see if he still belongs in boxing with the elite. He was gonna take Mikey Garcia, man. It was like a 85% done. It's just that the feedback they were getting, man, it was like it was kind of like Floyd going out fighting Berto, you know.
Mm.
He wanted to go out with a bang. And he was asked multiple times in like the last 2 weeks if this is his last fight. He said definitely could be if he loses. He just has to see come fight night. And he said there's a chance one more fight. And he's talking about Crawford. But that, again, he
Wow.
takes it fight by fight, fight by fight.
Manny's a killer. If he fights Crawford, Manny's a proper. He is already. But imagine him fighting Crawford as well. That would be incredible, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, that might be a little too much. That might be a little too much, man, after the Spence fight. But we'll see. If he fights Crawford, it's gonna have to be in 2022 for sure. But yeah, man, I got Manny taking Spence's belt. It's becoming a 3-belt unified oldest welterweight champion. Another accomplishment in the book. Yeah, I'm just getting ready, man. So when he lands here, I'm ready to train with him. Just waiting, man. Been waiting this. He was supposed to come last year, man. We were ready for everything, but COVID happened, so I'm excited this year, man. The next 3 weeks he'll be here, and from there we'll go to Vegas, man. We'll be ready, baby.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is good.
It must be good, man, being around a legend like training.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Shout out to Team Pacquiao, Sean and Brandon and Mike. I know a few people from his team and his security. Great dudes, super cool.
What about that? His childhood friend, Boo Boy. Is it Boo Boy?
Yeah. Boo Boy is real cool. Yeah, they're all cool, man. When they come over here, they're always like friendly and show hospitality, man. Manny is super nice, man. Super nice.
Yeah. Oh man, it's great.
I was telling him personally, man. After we were training, we were just chilling, and like even in the mornings when we some mornings we wait for him at his house, and everybody's just waiting there until he wakes up, and then we start training. I told him personally, man, before the Thurman fight, like a week before he left to Vegas, I told him face to face, I was like, man, Thurman ain't no slouch, man. You got to be careful, man. This dude hits hard. This dude could end it, man. This dude could hurt you, give you brain damage. And he was like, don't worry. He was like, I got it. He was like, he told me it's always how you prepare. That's one thing I got from him. He's like, it's always how you prepare, man. It's all about preparation. No matter how hard or how good the fighter is, it's preparation, man. He always reiterated that, told me many times. Preparation, man, preparation. So I'm sure he's gonna come prepared for the Spence fight, man. I just think we're gonna see the best version of Spence. Yeah.
Gamo, I wanted to ask you a question. Because you're close to Team Pacquiao. You know what really frustrates me is when people accuse Manny of things like, when they bring up like you brought it up last time when you were on live about the PEDs. I think this Manny Pacquiao's never ever failed a drugs test. Manny Pacquiao's always lived clean life, right? As a Pacquiao fan, it hurts me that people criticize him unnecessarily. Just because I feel like in sport, when someone does something great, he must be doing no good. He must be doing no good. He must be on something, right? Like that, You're basically anyone that's good, you're taking the credit away from them. Has Pacquiao ever responded to this? Has Pacquiao ever responded to this and said this is nonsense? This is not true. Like I know it was Floyd that initially said, like, insinuated that this guy was he's moved up so many ways. Well, what's your take, and what's Manny made of all of that rubbish that people have said?
Yeah, man. There's been many videos around like the 2010s to like right now where he's asked multiple times about PEDs, being on gear, steroids, and he was asked genuinely, and he said he's never taken any enhancements, any illegal steroids, and he was asked many times, and he was like, "Oh, I'm a man of God, and I would tell the truth if I did. I would come clean because he knows that his legacy would be tainted." But he's never failed a drug test, man.
That's what tested.
I mean. He's been tested his whole career since he was pro. I already explained what happened with the whole Floyd thing, with Floyd just trying to weaponize it to his advantage. Taking nothing away from Floyd. Floyd's definitely the better boxer out of the two, but it's just he said it multiple times, man. It would like pierce his heart if he kept lying about that and his legacy being so great. He could not live with it. He would come clean if he did, you know. And he said multiple times, like with ease, no, he's never done that, man. He's never juiced. He's just natural, man. He's never juiced, been on gear, you know, never on HGH, TRT, no clan, no trend. He's been clean, man. And when people say, oh, when he was working with Alex Ariza, they were juicing. No, man, it's Alex. If you watch those videos around all those when he was with Alex Ariza had him doing different strength and conditioning. That's why he was more. That's when he was really ripped because he had Manny doing a lot of strength and conditioning, weight training. If you watch all those videos, the training was different because Freddie wasn't really implementing strength and conditioning. It was just more boxing. He didn't believe in strength training, and he did a lot of strength training with Ariza. So if you look at his physique, he was more ripped, more vascular. That's when he was like in his prime too. And they were just doing more of that. But Freddie didn't want him strength training, wanted more boxing, so they got in a conflict with that. And Alex Ariza would give Manny like creatine and BCAs, things like that. And Freddie wasn't. He was more traditional, you know. Freddie didn't really, I guess, like they didn't meet eye to eye with that training. So that's what happened, man. Because I know Marvin and Alex Ariza trained Marvin. Now Marvin's one of Manny's strength and conditioning head coaches. So that's a story, man. Manny never really failed a drug test. He never juiced, from what I know, man, personally. Look at all the interviews. He said it. I mean, he would come clean if he did. He just could not live with that in his soul, with how his legacy is so great. Yeah, I mean, from what I know and what I've seen, man, Manny's clean. It's just like a lot of deflection tactics with, you know, people trying to downplay his legacy and things like that, trying to discredit him, man. But that whole thing was a smoke screen, man, in 2010. Why the fight didn't happen.
What do you make of that, Stephen?
I think there's something, you know, there's an aspect of the game it's convenience for someone to accuse somebody else of doing, you know, steroids and whatnot, just to kind of safeguard themselves and, you know, keep them from, you know, trouble if he did lose or whatever. I don't know if he was on steroids or not. You know, I don't think he was. You know, I don't think he was. I don't see a reason for him to have taken steroids or whatever. I just think that's a part of the game that, you know, people are gonna say it's you know, what better way to attack somebody and to damage their credibility, you know, other than, you know, to say that, you know, this person did steroids or this person did that or this person cheated, you know, kind of like with the Deontay Wilder stuff. You know, there's no way possible he cheated. He cheated in any form or fashion, and I just think, you know, that's a part of the game that people use, and it's just like it's bullshit. I never subscribe to that. But man, I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. You know,
cool. Stephen,
yeah,
man,
good chopping it up. Good chopping it up, Stephen. Yeah, Wilder never cheated. Yeah, Wilder never cheated, man. He won fair and square. Wilder was just shook, man. Wilder was just shook, couldn't fight on his back foot, didn't have a good boxing game plan, man. He just got his ass beat fair and square, man. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. There was no tampering, no juicing. That was it, man.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. But man, salute to y'all, man. Salute, Gammo, man. Good.
Salute.
All right, man. I'll get up with y'all, man. All right, Imran. I'll talk to you later.
Man. Take care, Stephen. Take care, man.
Yeah, man. Manny never he never juiced it, man. I don't know. That's the LDBC pushing those narratives, trying to downplay his legacy, man. Manny was just a freak of nature in his prime, man. 2000, I'd say late 2008 to 2012. Man, dude, that was Manny was a tank. Manny was a machine in his prime, man. When he was looking like Bruce Lee, that's when He was a killer, man. He was just a gym rat, crazy work ethic. Even here, man, when I've trained with him, man, he's like he trains like crazy still, man. Like it's wild, and he keeps the young guys around him, so that he feels and stays young, so that they push him.
It's
Yeah, when he
going off
comes down,
the comment section.
yeah.
It's going
What are
off.
they
These guys are saying, well, Radai says Khan wasn't an elite welterweight. He's a big name, not elite.
Khan was a great boxer, man. Really good, fundamentally sound. He had speed. If you're just talking about boxing, if you're just talking about strictly being a good boxer, Khan was a great, fundamentally sound boxer. He was elite at 140, man.
He was elite, man. He was elite.
Just the dudes that he just didn't have a chin at 147, man, and he didn't have the power to keep these guys off him, man. That was pretty much it. But he was a great boxer, man. At 140, great boxer.
You know what, Gamo? The thing is, you guys in America rate Khan a lot higher than most guys here in the UK.
Man, I actually, for some reason, I did notice that, man. I do notice that. It's just that, I mean, Khan made his name here early in like the 2010s, but he did fight a lot of good U.S. fighters, man. And Khan has a good resume, man. Even though he's not he's not an all-time.
He's not an all-time great. No.
He didn't reach that all-time level. I mean, he could have. If he beat Canelo, if he won those fights, I mean, he would have. But
he lost at the pound for pound level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he lost at the pound for pound level. Like otherwise, his resume is unbelievable, man. His resume is. He knocked out Zab Judah.
Yeah, man.
Zab Judah was a really good fighter.
He beat Samuel Vargas. He fought Danny Garcia. He has a good resume.
Maidana.
Canelo. He fought a lot of dudes, man.
He fought. Yeah, he beat some good fighters, man. Maidana was a great fight. But yeah, I find it funny because here in the UK, right, they're like he's not rated as highly as some of you guys in America. America, man. America, like, and you know what the crazy thing is? A lot of you guys, like, I was speaking to Steven, for example. I asked Steven, right? Like at 140, we've got Josh Taylor now, or Josh Taylor's repping UK doing great, right? We've also had Ricky Hatton in the past before Khan, right? Everyone that I've asked from America, right, Gamo, they've said that Khan beats both Ricky Hatton and Taylor, right?
Well, I think Hatton was to me a little overrated, man. If I'm being honest. And it's crazy. He was in the fight with Floyd. Was in the fight with him for 6 rounds until he got stopped. If you watch that fight, like the first 6 rounds, he was in the fight with Floyd, man. And then you see Manny just stop this dude in 2 rounds, And it's like you could say the same thing. Floyd was in the whole fight with Oscar, a washed Oscar, and Manny just dismantles this dude. You could use those arguments on both sides, but
Manny destroyed Patton as well, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say definitely is greater in America than Taylor and Hatton. I mean, right now, it's because also the era from that Khan was from, man.
Tough, man. He fought some really hard fighters.
Yeah, he fought great era.
Great era, man. That's why he had more losses, because he had. If you look at apart from Prescott, I thought he beat Peterson, right? He lost to Danny Garcia, Canelo, and Crawford.
Like, he has a good resume, man. You know what I mean? Resume.
But I don't know. I don't think he gets the credit here in the UK, man. The UK don't. I don't know what it is. But anyway,
he lost his biggest fights. That's why.
That's what I mean. That against Canelo and Crawford, man. You know what I mean? Those fights, he didn't win them. You know what I mean? So obviously you get criticism. Whereas Manny, for example, Manny was oh man, he's an all-time great. That was my favorite fighter. I think Manny beat Spence. He's an argument. He's the greatest ever.
Yeah, man, I'm just so grateful that he's still fighting till this day. Ever since I was watching him when I was a kid, and I'm like, it's great, man, that he's gonna come here in a couple of weeks, man. I get to train with him, and I just get to watch him, and he's gonna fight again, man. It's just legendary. He's still doing it, man. I'm just grateful I get the opportunity to witness it. It's just legendary, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think. Are you gonna be at the fight?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just waiting for the tickets to be on sale. I already have my place where I'm gonna stay booked. Yeah, man. I'm just
What?
waiting for the tickets to go on sale. I'm just kind of I'm skeptical on the price range, man. How much am I gonna have to spend? 'Cause I definitely want to get. I'm gonna get some good seats, man. But if Manny's team can get me in, then definitely. But they've always prioritized like other pro fighters first and like close family friends, before like just influencer friends and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna be there for sure, man. It's a lot. His might be his last fight. I definitely got to be there, man.
Hmm. Yeah. I thought Manny's last fight would be against Bradley. When he fought Bradley, I thought his career was over. He beat him and then he retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he retired for like a year, but he couldn't live with it, man. He still had more in the tank. He just had more to give. He just felt off retiring, man. He was just like, nah, man. It doesn't feel like it was making him feel old. If you watch interviews around that time, he said he had more in him. You know, um, he did retire for like it was under a year, and he came back and he fought Vargas, and then he fought Horn. But everybody thought he was done after that Marquez knockout, man. Um, you
yeah,
know,
that was a bad knockout. Came back.
Manny he was already an all-time great. He could have retired when he beat Cotto. He cemented his legacy when he beat Cotto. He could have retired then. Would have been an all-time great. Just to think, 10 years after that, this man's still fighting at a whole next chapter of his career, man. That's why I think he deserved the fighter of the year again. But they robbed him and they gave it to Floyd. I don't think Floyd deserved it, man. He didn't fight the whole decade.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Um, Gamo, are you heading off to the gym? I'm gonna be heading on to the off to the gym. Um, I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Yeah, man. We can just chop it up for however much long, man. Whenever you get off, I'll get off, man. I just saw you
yeah,
were live, so I just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
tap in, man.
yeah. Gamo, I'm gonna be doing live streams like every day, especially when build up to the fight. I'd love to have you on, man, and just updates about whatever going on with Pacquiao, Spence, and everything else, really.
Yeah, man. If you're ever when Manny's here, if you're ever live, maybe I can try to get you a interview or something. Right? It's gonna be
Oh yeah,
harder
that'd be great.
to work it out, or an interview with somebody from the team or something. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
definitely I'll be tapping in. I just want to see how Spence is looking, and I just want to see how Manny is looking the next week or two. Because the fight is coming closer by the day.
It is, man. It is. Gamo, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. You always give good information and talk good about it. Chop it
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Shout out Team Pacquiao. We definitely gonna take them belts. Shout out to Imran. We tapping in from LA. Yeah, man. What time is it
Mm,
there, man? In the UK right now.
7:37, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's about to be afternoon
So
here.
yeah. So the late afternoon
Yeah, yeah, man. Good looks. Lomachenko's fight's coming up.
this week.
Uh,
Oh no, who's playing this week? It's Lomachenko this week.
yeah, 26. Lomachenko, Nakatani, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. That's a good fight, man.
you got Davis Barrios. Yeah, man. And then that Charlo fight, I don't think he's ready for Canelo, man. With what I saw, in that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'll leave it here. Thanks, Gamo, for coming on. It'll
Peace.
be
Shout out everybody in the chat, man.
yeah. Everyone in the chat, man. Appreciate it as well. I'm gonna be heading off. Gamo's going. Are you going to the gym as well?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go boxing right now, and then I'm gonna eat. And then I'm gonna do some strength training, And then that'll be that, man. You know, I stay from 126 to like 135 around there. I could do 140. I could do 122. That's too small though. So let's go, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good looks. Good looks.
Take care, man. Take care, Gamo. See you later. All right, man. Guys, I'm gonna head out as well. I'm knackered now. 2 hours on the live stream. I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. I'm gonna try doing as many live streams as I can, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.